Okay,
Sounds
we're
good.
here with Kevin Cho, the champion of Rosemont. How you going, Kevin? You feeling good?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm doing good. I didn't expect to win, so
This was the year you needed a win because I think last year you had the free ride from V Premium, right? But
yeah.
but you know when Kevin needs something done, he gets it done because this is I don't know how many times have you been in Worlds. I feel like every year you're like, what has Kevin been doing? I haven't heard much from him, and then suddenly I'm qualified for Worlds. You know.
That's true. I'm relatively low key, but this will be the seventh year. This will be the
Oh,
seventh
he's doing
year
it.
I
Seven.
get to Worlds, so it feels really good. It feels really good.
And it's for
Yeah,
your favorite format, I guess.
yeah, definitely. It definitely would be. I love premium, so.
Nice, nice. All right, all right. Well, you were playing surprisingly Crest Harri in what is known now in America as like the center of all the Gridoras, and you brought Crest Harri. What was your thinking going into it? Because like on paper, a lot of people would be saying Ghidorah beats all these special summon decks, right? What does Crest Harri have against it that makes it good?
Honestly, yeah. What's it called? Fedora is just super freaking nasty.
Yeah.
And the reason that I chose this deck instead of being safe and playing Gridora is that I felt like, well, first of all, I love Pale Moon, just like my boy Derek.
Nice, nice.
We love Pale Moon, and I felt like this deck had the top end necessary with a crest to
Okay.
get through Gridora. It finally had the tools necessary, but it still needed a little bit more like optimization. And
Mhm.
once I kind of got there, and once me and Derek discussed it a bit, we formed kind of this build together along with some other WCC members.
Nice,
And
nice.
yeah, it felt like the right pick.
Okay, okay. Let's just jump into the deck first. We'll go through it, and then we'll talk about more about the matchups later and some of the fun questions. All right. So first off, let's talk about the Harrys. So you got the two different Harrys, right? The two different rarities. OG Harrys. Was there ever an idea where you want to play like the split where you go like two of the OG Harry or X of the OG Harrys, and you play the stage Harry at some point, or the V one?
No, what's it called? It's The V1 was really nice back in the day. Like I used to play the same build as
Uh-huh.
Derek back in 2023 with Stage Harry into Eradicator format. But
Hmm.
now with the crest, you really just want to be riding up. And also the big thing is if you run the Stage Harry, you don't have access to the G Guard interruption if you
Oh.
ride the Stage Harry. Um, because you would need Lovely Companion, and you would need a grade 2 that caused something from Soul, because Lovely only caused grade 2s. So
Oh.
it just makes it too complicated, too convoluted for like a tournament with already a lot of
Mm,
variance.
mm.
So
So it's
you know,
max
uh,
consistency, right? Uh,
yeah, definitely. That's usually what I try to do, maximum
mm.
consistency.
And
But
then how Shiranuis run the extra Shiranuis. Was there ever thought of running the extra Harrys or?
yeah, yeah, I definitely looked into it. I definitely was looking into the other options, but it didn't feel worth it. And space
Mm.
is super tight. It's
Ah.
super tight. I was literally up at 3 a.m. the night before premium regionals at Rosemont. Like, oh boy, like I was sleeping, woke up at 3 a.m. Ratios. How can I make stuff fit? There's so many good cards. So yeah, it just didn't make any sense to waste
Yeah.
any more spots.
And honestly, OG Harry's pretty good. Just
Yeah,
CV1 calling
definitely.
out a dude. It's just as solid as it gets, right? And getting 2 XL
Yeah.
we have the Scythe Dragon. I've been on the receiving end of this. What's so good about it?
Man, what is it?
Yeah, all right.
It's a Yeah, it's just fantastic. It's just so much better than the other grade 3. Excuse me, I never know the names of cards
That's fine.
usually.
That's fine.
You wouldn't catch me playing Highlander, but you know, um, Counterblast can be really tight for sure. And this gets over resist too. The only I think detriment to this versus the other grade 3 is that you have to discard a trigger,
Yeah.
and all of your triggers are so good in this deck that really does get kind of difficult, and it can be like a little tricky. It takes a little bit like of consideration,
Yeah.
but it's overall just much better card. And I couldn't find space for the other grade 3, and yeah, it was just it's getting around resist, not costing counterblast. It's just too
Yeah.
good.
It gives a nice removal tool for Pale Moon. Not everyone expects this, right? They know about the G Guard, but do they know about this one unless they've done a bit of research?
Yeah, I mean that's a good point because Pale Moon is a relatively was a relatively low key deck until this point. It wasn't really a contender, I would say, except for Derek, of course. So,
yeah, I had to test
yeah.
against him for Worlds, so I know all about this guy.
Yeah.
Nightmare Doll Alice, I'm pretty sure we've seen the combo before. Tell us about how this fits into you. Like normally we see like what the Nightmare, because it's not just Alice. We have a Leslie as well in this, and when we look at the Nightmare Doll, this should be in pure Nightmare Doll decks, right? But how does it fit in the Harry deck?
The main usage for this is to combat Gridora. And basically it turns this deck into a like kind of a mini Nova Grappler deck. Because the condition for Leslie to stand is just that the Alice goes to soul. It's not that anything gets called out from the soul.
Okay, yeah, true.
So you can force your Leslies to stand with a Crest power bonus and any triggers bonus. So it does give you a fighting chance into Gridora. It doesn't make it like an auto win for sure. I would not say that. I would say it just gives you a fighting chance. And if things work out well, not too unlucky for you, it definitely puts you like with your best foot forward in a way.
Okay.
And
it makes a lot of sense now, right? Because before these, you'd use this to boost because this was just 7k, but now because of Crest, this can be like a lot of K.
Yeah, it's huge. It can get really, really big. Not really too big into Gridor because they kind of minimize your G zone face up. But
yeah.
But still, fighting chance. So.
Yeah, you have a restanding Vanguard as well every turn, right? So it's
yeah.
the freest of the free.
Yeah, and you can ride the Alice if you miss the Crest. Just a small note. So
true.
It gives you an Excel, and then with your vet, it's 2 Excels. So, but yeah,
it's not the worst ride, right? Because like you look at some other, like for example, Gridora, for example, if you miss the Crest, you just go, well, I'm not getting any Crest. Well, not Crest. If you miss the history collection, you just miss out on everything, right? But this one, you at least have a decent backup.
Yes, exactly. It just a lot of reasoning. The ratios were a little smaller before, I'll say. But I really wanted to focus on maximum consistency, especially because our events have been really big lately, and we've been hitting the top 32 pretty much every event. It's been top 32.
Was it top 32 for Rosemont as well?
Oh yeah. Every event I've gone to this season has been top 32.
Dang, that's huge. For
premium and then the extra round. Yeah, premium as well. Premium as well for every event I've been top 32. So you really do need your consistency, for sure.
Okay. So, I've noticed like when I look at these cards, there's a lot of encounterish cards. What is this, Jacqueline? What does Jacqueline put into this deck now?
Yeah. So, it just adds a little bit extra top end for you. I would say like a little extra consistency. It really pushes you over the threshold. Threshold.
Yeah.
In terms of consistency, because if you get to ride it, you are just finding 2 really good cards pretty consistently. Like you can add a Leslie to your hand and Alice to the soul. You can add the opposite way. You can add your gruesome dragon. You can add the grade 2 on the right of Jacqueline. When it's put to soul by an ability, you bind it and you search a grade 3. Because this is a normal unit. And yeah, it's just, And Jacqueline's just really good. Like, I know it doesn't work unless you ride it, but
Yeah, yeah.
you know, these cards do have a little more justification. I know there are also in Shiranui, of course, with Shoujo Doji. But they have a little more justification because you have the grade 2 filter grade 2s that are also digging for your crest. So you already have the crest. Yeah, you can just use these to dig for Jacqueline. So
okay, yeah, no, I'm a bit because when I looked at it, I was a bit scared. I was going, oh, you need to ride the grade 1, and then you want to ride the grade 2, right? And then you need that grade. It's like a bit scary, but I guess if you're searching for this, you at least have like, well, if you're using Pardos to search, right, you have like 2 targets to search for at least.
Yeah, yep, exactly. And
yeah, out of curiosity, how many times did you miss your crest? Because
I missed it twice that day. The first round and the first round of top 32.
Okay. Did you lose that first round? So you have to win the top 32 one, right? So.
Yeah, I lost that first round, but it wasn't because I missed the crest. It was because I missed Hari, actually. So
Okay, yeah, okay.
yeah, yeah. And then just one final note about the Jacqueline. Jacqueline also gets the perfect number if you go up first and you call it off of Hari because it gets 5k for its own skill, and then Hari gives it 5k, the crest gives it 5k, and the Excel gives it 5k. So it's at 30k and hits over 2 damage triggers, and that was like,
oh, that's huge. Yeah, hey.
yeah, it's like ginormous. There are so many people that are like 30,
It's 30.
and yeah, it's great. But
Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy. I was just like, man, the second effect's pretty generic. I was like 5k, but when you explain it like that, it's like, oh wow, that's scary. That's scary. Okay.
yeah.
And then you're running the is it stride fodder? Yeah, stride fodder, masquerade bunny, the new one.
Yeah.
4 copies of it. I know you want consistency, but we're looking at it like, if you look at this lineup, we don't have those 10k grade 1s anymore. Isn't it a bit scary sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely can be. I would definitely say one of the, weaknesses, it can be shield at points. But the thing is, there's like 2 kind of reasonings for this. The first one just being, I wanted to fight. I knew I was gonna fight Gridora, and I wanted to just make a choice on how the day was gonna go. Like, do I want to just play for fighting Gridora? And do I want to just bet on that? And it was just worth it. It was like, that is really your worst matchup for sure, Gridora. And so it just made sense to search this out, or to use this one and not the G1 too, because that makes you call a card. And as for the defense thing, I feel like the format we're in is kind of all in. I don't really feel like there can be too much room for grind in this format, because it really feels like it's very difficult to survive at past second stride. And so I was really just concerned for like finding my pieces, getting to the point where I can kill my opponent, and so I just wasn't too worried about defense. And you have the defensive retire for anything, so
yeah, it's just I guess kill your opponent is the best defense.
Yeah, honestly, you don't have to deal with it. So they're dead. So.
And 2 purple Trapezists, only 2 of these. Is there a reason?
The main point of the card is to trigger your stands or your grade 2, and use that to search for your gruesome dragon. That's how I viewed it. And then the other reasoning for the card is to use it to chain into Alice, Alice into Alice. So it feels like more like a win more card. And it pretty much is useless against Redora. Like, most of the deck is just fine-tuned to have as many active cards against Redora as I can. So yeah, there was only 2. I wanted to add a third one, and when we get to the flex spot at the end, I'll like mention it, but yeah, it just felt like 2 was okay because it just didn't feel super necessary.
In a way, I guess if you play against a non-Gridora deck, you can just rely on the deck's natural power to win, right? Like, You don't
Yeah.
worry too much. Yeah. Okay, I
Yeah.
understand that.
Mhm.
Out of curiosity, so we talked about the crest before for Harry. The crest has the extra draw. How important was that draw during the day? Out of curiosity.
Uh, Definitely, definitely. The crest draw is insane because you're usually looking for heals in non-Gridora matchups, and you're looking for Leslie or Alice in Gridora. So you're always looking for pieces for sure.
Okay. It's
So
a
yeah,
very piece reliant deck, so the extra draw comes in handy. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I tried. It is very piece reliant. That's why I tried to make it as consistent as possible to minimize variance. So
Mm-mm. And I know your starter is this, but I know a lot of people run the extra cat as well. What was it? The cat with the hat and boots?
yeah, cat and high boots.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know a lot of people run cat and high boots, and to mention also Dorian, the grade 3 that sucks your field and
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
draws.
Mm.
Yeah, those are definitely good cards. Those two and misdirection. But like I said, Gridora,
Oh,
I
true.
don't want
True.
dead cards in my deck against Gridora at all costs. And also, I don't want too many one-ofs in my deck, which
Mm.
kind of seems crazy, right? Because like you have the stand trigger, it searches whatever you want. But if
Yeah.
you think about it, if you have too many like one-ofs, you have like situations in which it's conflicting and you need multiple cards. That's the
Mm.
problem for me. And I just decided I'm gonna use the stand to search combo pieces against non-Gridora, and I'm gonna use the stand to search the grade 3 and nothing else. That's pretty much the idea.
Okay. And since we're gonna go to the trigger lineup. We have the 3 stands here to search things out. Um, you don't run any of the counter charging stands, I guess. You're only running the stand just to search, right? Like.
Yeah, I had some in. I had a countercharge stand in,
Mm-hmm.
but I had messed around with the ratios, and I put the fourth draw trigger in as a result because I wanted more space in the main deck.
Yeah.
And I just didn't see the point in Sanctitude. I know it's really good against Antlion and
Mm-mm.
against Deep Police, but I just decided to bet on what I was going to play against, and there's so many good cards. So yeah,
Yeah.
tight. The space is really tight in this deck.
Yeah, I guess you're kind of forced to run this lineup as well, like the 4 crits, if you want to run the stands, because you don't have a choice. It's rare that we see the Dark States OT, but in Premium, this is one of the formats where you'll see this one run, especially with Pale Moon. Tell the viewers why.
Well, Dark Lord Princess is going to be the the obvious reason. Yeah, Dark Lord. Yeah, because she pretty much is your main finisher. She's your bad bounty. And multiple Vanguard swings with criticals goes kind of crazy. That's just a fact, right?
Yeah.
And also this OT, it has more opportunities, I guess, to be effective because you can check it at literally any drive check. Your first grade 1 drive check, your grade 2 drive check, your first grade 3 drive check, your second grade 3 drive check, stride turns, of course. But like every point, it would offer some form of benefit. So yeah, it kind of scales.
Yeah, or snowballs. No, it snowballs early,
Yeah.
but then since you're a restand deck, you still get like good value from it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and and plus the extra pressure against Gridora is real nice.
Oh yeah. No one likes Gunnar. Except Solom.
Yeah, exactly. Gridora stand, bro. Gridora stand.
All right. We're gonna head to this slot. I guess this is the flex slot, right? Is a Caliburn, draw 2, counter charge 1. Not bad choices, but there are other choices that you can consider too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, I woke up at 3 a.m. before the event, thinking about where can I make space. What can I do? And I literally took the stand counter charge out, put the draw trigger in, and I was like, okay, I can take the Sanctitude out, which was this Caliburn. That's what it was. It's like, okay, I have one more spot now. I can put a third Trapezist in. I was like, this card sucks against Gridora anyways. So I was like, I could put a grade 1 G Guardian in, and I'm like, that is good, but I already have 4, and those are already good odds. So this is kind of like the in between, because this can let you dig for pieces, and it can let you dig for heal triggers, which are pieces too. But like it's the best of both worlds, and it lets you go a little.
As well.
Yeah, exactly. And when you have to play for dust, the counter charge can be pretty pivotal. So
yeah, set up for your next turn.
Yeah.
So I guess, like, here's the thing with 3M ideas. They're either the best ideas or the worst ideas sometimes.
They were all ideas ever. So
they were the ideas.
It definitely wasn't bad though. It definitely wasn't bad.
Okay. How many times has this come up? Do you remember?
Honestly, a lot, especially the counter charge. Because I needed to grab cards from Soul at certain points because I just had a bunch of triggers in my hand. And I was like, wow, I actually need rare cards. That's crazy. So, I would be forced to use Hari's Honest Ride to cause something, and I'd be like, okay, well, I still have all access to all of my damage because I can just Caliburn. So yeah, it actually was pretty crazy. And then the draw 2 came up a few times for just digging for heal triggers, and that was nice too. So
nice. All right, so we're on to the strides. Some pretty obvious ones. Let's just go through them quickly. Harmonic Messiah, definitely putting in, right? If you're not putting in, you're throwing.
Yeah.
I'm noticing this is not a world's Harmonic Messiah. What's happening?
Yeah. I think the time that they gave out the world's harmonics, I made top 8, and my opponent got a 6 damage OT. And it's funny that you mention it because I played that guy this tournament too, and he got not a 6 damage OT, but he shut down another of my stride turns with an OT. Same exact guy, same exact deck, but I beat him this time, unfortunately. So it was
playing an extremely strong deck, right?
Yeah.
We got the History Collection stride as well. Clifford, right? Of course, you want to run this because you'll be throwing if you're not running it, Harry.
It's really good. I think I only passed it up one time to go into Dark Lord.
Oh, okay.
So,
only once.
Going second once. To get an extra G-Zone face up to turn Dust Dive. Nice. I think I did it once, maybe, but usually I just go into this for sure.
We talked about Dark Lord Princess before. Why she's so good, right? This is the most American stride here. Free restand, literally free, right? Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add to this? This is, I'm pretty sure every single Pale Moon player and non-Pale Moon player has talked about this, going, why is it printed like?
Yeah. It's from the premium collection, so it's exactly what you expect.
It is from that broken premium collection, right? Is it? I'm pretty sure it was, right? Yeah.
It's from the first 2, and they were both really good. So nothing else to say. It's 2 Vanguard swings with the crest is crazy. It lets you play one of Yvette, which is also crazy, and nothing else to say. And it gives you 3 GP, which is crazy.
Yeah, we got the Yvette here as well. We've seen this, the Dark Lord combo into this to get the extra Excel. Normally like those History Collection decks are limited to those 2 gifts, but then because of Yvette, you literally just get the extra Excels for free.
Yeah. It's actually insane, and it calls to any additional Excel circle. Yeah. So if you call your Dark Lord to an Excel circle, you can use your vet to call over the Dark Lord and force it back into the G zone.
Yeah.
That was a really cool one.
And you know what's crazy now is, like, before you the Dark Lord comes out and you're like, that's nice, but now the Dark Lord comes out, it's like massive, right?
Yeah. With the crest, it's usually 30k. So
like
before,
well, sometimes they get a damage trigger and you're like, who cares about the Dark Lord anymore? But now you're just like, well, we're still gonna bash you, right?
It's just such a good card. Nothing really to say there. And Yvette is good in any deck that with Leslie in it, because it buffs Leslie's.
It's this. We have a Dust, so I think Pelman's one of the few decks that still use dust as a win condition. Is there anything else you want to add to how good dust is?
No. I mean, it turns off G Guardians. So it turns off most mid battle phase plays except for Highlander.
The dust
it turns
speaks
off.
for itself, right? Is it?
Yeah, it turns off on field Hanali's. It's just crazy card. It's the singular reason why I won the second game without my crest because I
Oh,
turned Grand Blue's G Guardians off. I did get fairly lucky in that game after missing the crest by him not getting damage triggers on my dust turn, but it was just something I had to bet on.
yeah. Sometimes
I
you,
mean,
you
I
got to
already
do
missed
it.
the crest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play to
So
win.
yeah, it's crazy.
And then the last try. Well, no, we've seen this one. But this is solo quality. We probably don't need to show too much about
Yeah.
it, right? Do you even go to this much? Just like Dark Lord Yvette, right? Most of the time.
Yeah, you do still go into this for sure. Because it's 3 free counterblast or 3 free attacks per counterblast one. So it can be pretty good, and it can, force Alice into Soul, which is really good. And yeah, just a really good card. And all the cards go back to Soul.
Also, procs
which is nice.
It cleans up, procs the crest.
Yeah.
Okay. But then we have one of the new Harrys. What is this Harry good for? Only one as well.
Mid battle phase Hanali calls. If you can't get into the dust, you can go into this and then leave it standing. And if they call Hanali, whenever they call Hanali, you just swing. And you're like, all right, but it's a so. So yeah,
CB1. I think was there something similar before, but that required a lot of CB, right? I think the old Harry could put
Yeah, I think it was a lot of CB for that guy. So we haven't ran it in a second. And you could just call Gruesome mid battle phase too, for sure.
True.
Yeah. But this is a really good option. I didn't stride it though, for sure.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was good.
Just they look cool. And then the G guard. So, I know you're running the unflip G guard. Was it just there to unflip?
Yeah, I mean, for 1 G guard, you get 2 G zone face up. That was the big reason for sure. Like if you can set up the 4 grades and Soul, if you're playing for that.
Technically a 30k shield as well, so it's not the worst.
Yeah.
We have worse. We have worse flip G guard.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's really solid, but yeah, definitely kind of a win more card.
Got Marja. So, I guess now that the Marja or procs, right? It's all good. Or Marja, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. This is pretty much the reason why you can't run the stage Harry because you need a Vanguard or Magia.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah. Nothing really to say there. Yeah.
Furnival? Why one Furnival?
Oh, this was the fine pieces.
Fine pieces.
If you just G guarding to purple G zone or just it's your G guard's already enough. You can look for this for the stand, gets anything. You can look for this for the grade 2, any grade 3, or just Leslie or Alice or maybe Trapezist if you're lucky. Any of the pieces really.
And then the last one we have the Chimera. I mean, it's pretty good. It can get rid of unsuspecting opponents, right?
Yeah, that and it triggers your stand and your grade 2 on your opponent's turn. So if you don't find another way to put them to Soul, the stand or the grade 2, you can use this. Put them to Soul, and then search your Gruesome. So yeah, it's good. So
that's pretty much the entire deck. Is there a high level view on how you would play this deck, just for all the viewers out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing to keep in mind is that I built this with the idea that I have to bet on what I'm playing against for the day, and I bet on Gridor because that is the absolute worst matchup. The mirror match can be a little bit more coin flippy, and I definitely think Dorian and Misdirection are better in the mirror match, but at least that one's playable. I feel like Gridora can be very unplayable without Alice and Leslie. So that's the big thing. I wanted to kind of commit to what I think I'm going to play against and just approach it with that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're playing it, you kind of just take that mentality in stride, in suit. You know, like you're playing against Gridora, do your best to dig for Leslie and Alice. You're playing against not Gridora, just do your best to dig for your heals, whether it be deck thinning, drawing, or whatever. So yeah.
Okay. But here's the thing, like, I think by the time the video is released, so in 2 days, Ghidorah will have been hit with the restriction. So you'll more likely be facing against non-Ghidorah decks. How would you approach that matchup? Like, is there like a simple like goal setting that you can maybe talk about the deck?
Yeah, I mean, I would say typically you kind of want to just decide how you're gonna play out the stride turns. You want to see like, do I have the wiggle room to grind this deck out? Like, is this a type of deck that is going to ODK me? Because if you just accept the truth, there are a lot of decks in premium that can send you straight from wherever you are to death.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's going to be a big thing. Just deciding where that's at, and then just fine tuning your deck. Otherwise, maybe try to change around the ratios to
Mm-hmm.
fit in some cards that go back to Soa end of turn, so that you can proc the GB2 on your first stride. That would be something that, in terms of deck building, I would change around. Maybe so that you can draw that one extra card off the crest at end of turn. Because I don't have any cards that can trigger the crest draw at the end of the turn, but there are
Oh.
a lot of cards that can't do that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, I get it, I get it. So interesting. I guess okay. So for your run for the day of the run, how did it go? How did it go this deck? You mentioned you had one loss in Swiss.
Yeah. That was my only loss actually. That first round. I missed Crest and I missed Hari. So
It's a double whammy.
and then I think I G assisted for a grade 3, and I found Alice twice, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Rip.
So yeah.
How
Um,
many Gridors did you end up fighting?
I fought against one or two.
Only two?
Um, yeah. The irony was insane to me. That I built my deck to fight against Gridora, and but the thing is, just looking at the landscape of the tournament, people were pivoting off Gridora more heavily than
Really?
I had expected. Um, there was a lot of Highlander. There was a lot of Highlander. There was a
What?
lot of Hari. Yeah,
Highlander?
Highlander and Gridora. Those were probably the highest played
Oh,
four.
sorry. What would you say? I think you cut out there.
Oh, sure. Highlander, Hari, Gridora, and Shiranui were probably the four most played decks. With the fifth would probably be Angel Gize.
I
And
was surprised because this is Gridora's technique. That was like Rosemont will be Gridora's last hurrah in its current form. So I thought more people would want to play it, but yeah, that's really
yeah,
interesting
um,
how the format has shifted.
yeah, I think it's been pivoting off a little bit. Like, there's a lot of players have been playing other decks, so it does make sense. It does make sense because Gridora into Highlander or Gridora into DP, Gridora into Shiranui. Like, the more people play, the more people realize, like, if I play Shiranui, or if I play um, DP or Highlander, I'm doing pretty good into into Gridora. Like, I'm cooking. So I think that's probably why. Like, the format is pretty um
Wide
obvious,
open?
obvious outside of Hari. So
Obvious, is it?
yeah.
Okay. Uh, I guess one of the other matchups would be how's the Angel Gize matchup? Because the only time I saw this against an Angel Gize was on the European stream, and I'm pretty sure the Pale Moon person was G assisting like 5 times.
Yeah. Um, I want to say it in the most nice way possible, but it's a very easy matchup usually. Um, you can empty your board at a lot of scenarios, and without damage triggers, you're usually cooking. You're usually attacking as many times as possible without without Hanali
Nice.
present on their board, and there's no way for them to Hanali before your Geese turn. So, or sorry, before they stride Geese. So
Yeah.
you're getting all the attacks off when they're on
It's
Geese.
so dirty. 30k
Yeah,
isn't anything,
yeah, exactly. And I think my one of my opponents was at 1,
Yeah.
and I think I did like 14 or 16 attacks on him, and I killed him on the Geese turn.
Wow.
So
What was your
yeah,
finals match? What was your finals match?
my finals was against Xavier, and he was playing Shiranui.
Oh, sure.
Um, but honestly, I don't want to claim like any kind of outplay, because he just and failed going second.
Ah.
So, like that's just how it goes sometimes.
It was your time, mate. It was your time.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, I don't want to,
Yeah.
yeah, but
All right.
yeah, final. I think definitely the harder matchups like were in 32 and in 8 when I had fought Night Rose without the crest,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to dust um him for game in top 32, and then in top 8 I fought against Grierson with Mega Colony, and
Oh.
yeah, and I did pull off the Leslie Alice. He did miss ride though, but yeah.
I mean,
Um,
it's Mega Colony. They deserve to miss.
it's yeah, it's a deck, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's nah. It makes sense. You're prepared for the matchup. Um, people technically know about Crest Harri as well, so it's good to see that it did very well for you, and that you were able to get first place. Yeah.
yeah. I'm really grateful, to all of our teammates who helped me out. And should I go into shoutouts, or was there anything else?
Oh no, well, you can go into shoutouts if you have anything to add. This is all you, mate. So if you get anything else to add, or if you just want to go to shoutouts, go for it.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much good. I don't want to run too long. You know, I just want to shout out, Toby for testing with me, Derek for helping me with the build, Noman for helping me with the build, WeRev for testing with me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all of WCC always helping each other out. It's fantastic. You, of course, for taking the time to do this deck profile.
Pleasure, man.
Because I do know there's a lot of people PMing me like, what's the deck, and yeah, I mean, and of course to all my friends in Chicago, the Chicago gang, we love each other. We're all helping each other out, testing premium standard. They all stayed the entire event until like 9-10 p.m. And I'm super grateful, of course. Yeah, my family, my girlfriend, everybody. So yeah, and
Cool.
I don't think I have anything else to say about the deck. It worked as I hoped, and I'm just grateful.
All right, that's good to hear. Okay, okay. Since we're at the end of the video, there's one last question, and I guarantee you, Derek doesn't watch until the end of these videos. Who is the real Pale Moon God? You or Derek?
This guy, right? Nah, it's Derek. It's Derek. Derek is insane, bro. He
Okay,
just he just sits down and knows the deck. He just always knows.
okay.
Yeah.
So humble and modest, even at the end of the video. All right, that's Kevin Show, everyone. First place in Chicago, Rosemont. He'll be at World. So you'll see him there representing the US of A. And look, we had a great talk, great chat. We had a great result, and hope all goes well from now until
Yeah.
Worlds and even at Worlds. All right, we'll see you
All
there.
right. Yeah. Thanks, guys.